The church is the hope of the world, but too often nowadays, the light of the church is dimmed by things like culture wars, infighting, division, even abusive behavior from many who claim the name of Christ. But it isn't meant to be this way. Join us as we turn to the book of Acts and find out what happens when regular people are empowered by the Spirit of the risen Jesus. His power is still available to us today, and it's a power that can turn our world upside down. Last week in chapter 1 of Acts, Jesus commanded his followers to wait in Jerusalem for the gift his Father had promised. Today in chapter 2, we'll see the gift of the Holy Spirit come down, but there's some important stuff that happens in between. After the risen Jesus makes his departure back to heaven, his disciples return to Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives. They joined together, constantly in prayer, along with the women who had been following Jesus, Jesus' mother Mary, and his brothers. There are about 120 believers in the group, but only 11 apostles, because Judas Iscariot had betrayed Jesus, and to nobody's great surprise, things ended badly for him. So Peter stands up among the believers and says it's important that they choose another man to take Judas's place. He says it needs to be someone who had been with Jesus since the start of his ministry, who could become a 12th witness to Jesus' resurrection. So they proposed 2 men for the job, Joseph, called Barsabbas or Justus, and Matthias. They all pray for God's guidance to choose the right person, and then they cast lots, which is kind of confusing for us today, but was basically just a way for the Jewish people to discern the will of God. The lot falls to Matthias, who takes Judas's place as the 12th apostle. And it's probably just as well because Joseph/Barsabbas/Justus are a lot of names to keep straight for one guy. And that, in a nutshell, is the story between the story.